All right, if you guys want to lose weight, here's the thing. You do not want to get into a calorie deficit first. Okay, you do not, I repeat, want to get into a calorie deficit first. There are a few things that needs to happen before you do that. And this is true in any field in life. But what we're talking about is fitness, diet, and it is also changing your mind and your perception of yourself. So there's a lot of psychological stuff going on that if I were to give you a task to perform that was too extreme, you would fail and crumble at it. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about building blocks of how things have to work and why it's so slow in literally any given field, right? And so for example, if I told an introvert that he has to have 10 full-blown conversations with people in the next 4 hours, and I put a gun to his head, I'm sorry, if that guy can't get 2 words out just normally, he's getting shot. It's just how it will be. There's simply, if he is not proficient at anything on a list, or if you're not proficient at anything on a list about diet and getting things right to basically have a proper fitness plan to have like a deficit to lose weight, if you don't have fundamentals down, it simply won't work. So why do you not go straight into a deficit? Because you need to get a few things right first. First thing that you need to get right is you need to understand why your decisions up until the point that you're at today, or for example, where I was 5 months ago at 30% body fat, got me where I was. So how does it start? You have to eat everything like you're eating normally for a week. You need to weigh yourself in the beginning and then weigh yourself the morning at the end of the end of the week, so the 8th day. Okay? You will then find out based on what you are already eating. So you still got your pizza cardboard in the garbage, and you know you've been having McDonald's, or like me, 4 to 6 tall boys. You're writing all this stuff down so that you can understand what it is that you're doing and why it's getting you the results. Okay. After that, the next thing that now you're writing things down and you now have this concept understood is that you basically need to start eating whole foods, which I'm sure most of you aren't opposed to. I'm sure you eat whole foods every once in a while, right? Well, now it's going to be every time. Every time you eat is something whole foods or wholesome. And even if it's not a treat or whatever, it's still getting written down. So you're going to not go into a deficit. You're going to eat at the normal caloric value for about 1, maybe 2 weeks. And you just need to sit at what you're doing. Okay. So sit at a maintenance level. Okay. So you're not going to be gaining. You're not going to be losing. So here's where the real kicker comes in, because when you start working out in a heavy duty program like what I do, where you do 1 set till muscular failure on all your lifts. So basically, if like for example, my workouts, since I go for 1 45-minute session per week, they are basically going to recomp your body, your muscles. You're going to start to see things happen to your body. Like you're going to start to get definition where there was none. You're going to start to, like, the fat is going to move around. You're going to lose some. It's going to position itself differently in the sense of, like, you're going to see now, like, cut, like your cut upper body coming, and then it's going to basically go lower. I'm not sure how everyone stores fat. Like some people store it in different areas, but for me, it's like my love handles, back and lower abdominal is where the final fat lays. Okay. So then once you are in a maintenance for about 2 weeks, then you start to take down slowly your your deficit. Okay. Because if you just go straight from eating pizzas and McDonald's and drinking beer like me and just go straight into a whole food healthy deficit, it's not going to work. The reason it's not going to work is because you're not going to work it. It's going to be too intense for what you can handle. So, okay, so now you've done maintenance for 2 weeks, just lower it by 200 calories now that you're eating whole foods. Okay, your body is going to be more readily able to how do I say it? It's basically going to be accustomed and ready to go down into the deficit. So then you just keep doing that until you're in, and it can be your choice. You can do an aggressive loss, which is 1,000 calorie deficit, and you don't even have to move an inch. You could sit on your butt at work like I do every day, and you will still lose 2 pounds of fat. It's harder to do, so you can do less than that. You can do an 800, which is still aggressive. You could do a 600, which is also still aggressive. 500 is probably good. 400 still, but anything more is better, right? In as far as deficit goes and losing fat, it's just what is sustainable, right? If you go into 1,000 calorie deficit and you go, man, this is just not sustainable for me, great, go to 600 deficit and then start walking. That's what I do. That's what's sustainable for me. And currently, based on how much I walk and my 600 to 650 caloric deficit, I'm losing 1.6 pounds of fat a week. So I am currently 7 weeks out from basically being 12% body fat, and then 9 weeks out from being 10% body fat. Okay, you can do this thing insanely fast. As far as like in 6 months, you will not recognize yourself. Okay, you simply will not recognize yourself. You will be a completely different person. But that is a long time for some people, you know, like, but it's amazing how literally you can be the guy who was 40% body fat and you're now 20% body fat in 3 to 4 months. I mean, you will be completely different. People won't even recognize you. It'll be insane. So let's talk about going into a surplus, right? Because I'm almost at that point, or I will be here in the short term. And the same thing happens. I am not going to go from 2,000 calories a day all the way up to 2,700, and then add 200 more on top of that. Okay, so wherever my maintenance level lies when I'm at, 10% body fat, it may be like 2,500. We'll see. I still have to work that out, but basically I'm not going to go straight into a 200 or 250 calorie surplus because I want to put on some muscle. I'm going to go to maintenance or just under maintenance, and then slowly creep up to maintenance, maybe have that be 2 weeks, and then I will go up into a surplus, because I'm not used to eating that much food. I know I can, and it's not going to be a problem for me, but my body just needs to just kind of get with the program. Because remember, things are slow. Your body will take time. You don't want to just shock it and then it's going to confuse you, because your body is confused and you say, well, why isn't this working? It should be working. So there's certain things that you want to do gradually that is going to make sense for both you and your body in this long transition into becoming a completely different person. I just wanted you to be aware of some of those, as opposed to, being unsustainable, or like a shotgun program, like here's your 12-week transformation, which is great. Some of those transformations are absolutely insane, as long as they can keep it, because what's the point of killing yourself over 12 weeks and coming out of the thing going, I'm glad that's over, and then you just go straight, you gain 10 pounds of fat. There's no point. So we want this thing as sustainable and as slow as possible. The sustainability of doing a one workout per week program is absolutely ridiculous. I'm in and out of the gym in 45 minutes. And I am telling you, when I start gaining muscle after my cut phase, I am going to change from looking like Robin into looking like Batman in 6 months. And it's going to be insane. Like 6 months to a year after I stop my cut, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be wild. And the fact that I literally only go in that short amount of time, it just frees up your life. You're going to be like the most sustainably jacked person you ever thought was even possible. People are going to hang their jaw or not believe me when I tell them the truth about how little and how little I do per week in order to sustain that. Okay, just wanted to share some of that with you. I hope it helped.